we are seen as not being capable of becoming successful business leaders. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. I'm Luciana. Now, recent anti-Asian hate crimes have been targeting those vulnerable in the AAPI community, such as the elderly and Asian women. In this video, I'm going to talk about the bias and racism that Asians and Asian American professionals face in the workforce. This bias and racism against Asians and Asian Americans in the workplace is not a new thing. This has been going on for decades, for a long time. It's just that I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. So let's discuss it in this video. Asian Americans are the group that is least likely to be promoted into management and executive roles, even less likely than blacks and Hispanics. Asian Americans make up about 5.6% of the US population and about 12% of the US professional workforce. And yet only 3% of S&P 500 CEOs are Indian, and only 2% of S&P 500 CEOs are of other Asian descendants. Yet white men and women are 154% more likely to be promoted into management and executive levels than the Asians and Asian Americans. As of 2018, Goldman Sachs reported that 20% of its US workforce was made of Asians and Asian Americans. And yet only 11% were executives. In the larger accounting firms, Asians and Asian Americans make up more than 20% of its associates. And yet very few of them make it to the partner level. In corporate America, Asian women make up the group that is most likely to have graduate degrees. And yet, Asian women are also the group that is least likely to hold leadership positions that are within 3 reporting levels of the CEO. According to Facebook's own diversity report, 44% of Facebook employees in the US are of Asian descent, and yet only 25% of them are in leadership roles. These data and statistics also apply in the federal workforce. In the federal workforce, in 2018, 9.8% of US federal employees were Asian Americans, and yet only 4.4% of them held the highest federal level. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but there is a Pan-Asian organization called the Ascend Foundation that works to enhance the influence of Pan-Asian business leaders. Their president, Anna Ma, talked to executives at a number of companies, and based on these conversations, she found that diversity and inclusion plans in many companies don't specifically address Asians and Asian Americans. Now, why is it that Asians and Asian Americans is the group least likely to be promoted into management and executive levels? And why is it that Asians and Asian Americans are often excluded from companies' diversity and inclusion programs or discussions? The model minority stereotype. The model minority stereotype leads companies to believe that Asian Americans as a group is prosperous and highly educated, so these companies believe that Asian Americans don't need assistance. This is part of the model minority stereotype that is a myth. Asians and Asian Americans are known to have the highest income and have higher education level than any other ethnic groups. But what people miss is that Asians and Asian Americans also have the widest income disparity among all ethnicities. This means that Asians and Asian Americans have the widest gap between the poor and the wealthy. Now, there are other biases about Asians and Asian Americans that lead to this leadership gap, this issue with Asian Americans being promoted to management executive levels. And those biases are that Asian Americans are quiet, passive, and non-confrontational. In other words, these biases led companies and other non-Asian people to think that Asians and Asian Americans are not assertive enough to be successful leaders, because to be successful leaders, you have to be assertive. And yet, if Asian Americans are assertive and demonstrate high level of competence, we are seen as lacking the social skills that are necessary to be successful leaders. So it's a lose and lose situation. It seems like we can't do anything right. We are seen as not being capable of becoming successful business leaders. What can companies do to address this issue? Yes, this is a problem in the US. However, I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Recent anti-Asian attacks have inspired more and more Asian and Asian American professionals to push their employers to donate for issues facing the AAPI communities and to ask for professional Asian descent to be more visible in the workplace. In March 2021, 1,000 Asian business leaders donated $10 million to organizations that fight anti-Asian racism. And some companies now, like Verizon, have started to pay attention to this issue, and in response, these companies' Asian employee resource groups have helped to create leadership training programs for its Asian employees. So there is the light at the end of the tunnel as more people in the AAPI communities and more companies are paying attention to this issue and are doing something about it. But there needs to be more. It doesn't hurt for more Asian and Asian employees, or really any other employees, that doesn't have to be Asian or Asian Americans, to speak up about this issue and to their employers. And there needs to be more companies that pay attention to this issue and do something about it. The first step is to raise awareness, because if these companies don't know about this issue, then how are they going to address it, right? Step 2 is make advancement of Asian American professionals a goal in your company's D&I efforts. Currently, many Asian-related diversity programs focus on cultural inclusion, but they're not focusing on management diversity. And management diversity should be a goal in companies' D&I initiatives. Step 3, be data-driven about advancing Asian American workers. Review your company's data on retention and promotion rates of your Asians and Asian American workers, and use that data to drive change, to drive programs like the leadership training programs that Verizon is doing. And last but not least, and this is to get a visible and proactive support from your CEO and your executive team, because they are the key to shifting priorities and budget to fund new programs that promote management diversity in your company. And now I'd like to ask you to think about what kind of diversity and inclusion and equity initiatives or programs do they have, and how does it affect the AAPI community? Or if your company has not done much to include Asians and Asian Americans in their D&I efforts, or to have diversity in the management and executive levels, how can your employers do so? If you want to share it, you can feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye guys.